Hey everybody, it's Rod with Van Guns coming back at ya with another video. Today, I'm going to talk about this older rifle. I've done a few reviews of newer modern rifles. This one's over 50 years old. I love it, and I'm going to talk to you about it today. Hey, before we get started, please hit that like and subscribe button for me. It's really helping the channel out. I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. Give me a sub, give me a thumbs up, and we'll get this channel rocking and rolling with lots of steady content. So what is this thing? Guys, this is a 1970s. I'm not sure exactly when it was built, but the serial number suggests it was 1977. I was a teenager in 1977, about 14 years old or so. And I'd like to say I've had this gun since then, but I haven't. I bought this as part of a giant estate sale where a colleague and I ended up buying this entire estate out of just dozens of guns and tons of ammo and all kinds of cool stuff. This was one of the rifles I acquired from that estate. And it's a great rifle. It has become my 30-06 go-to rifle. And it had some pretty strong company in my gun safe. The man that passed away and left these guns behind, along with ammo and whatnot, he was a reloader, and I think a pretty good one, as we'll talk about in the video here. So today, I'm going to go over this rifle, go over its features, what I like about it, what I don't, and kind of talk a little bit about how some of these older used rifles can be purchased for really a bargain price. You can get a $1,000 or $1,500 rifle for $500-600 sometimes used, and oftentimes, more often than not, they're really good rifles. This thing still shoots like a dream. So this is an M77. It is the first generation of the rifle. Ruger in the 1980s came out with a Mark II version of this very same rifle. In that version, they reportedly accurized the barrel. Not 100% sure what they did to do that, but they removed the adjustable trigger, which is kind of interesting. Then the third generation came out late 90s, I think, maybe early 2000s. It was the M77 Hawkeye, and it's a well-known rifle today, and they still make them today, and they sell them for, gosh, like $1,300 list price, and gun shops probably sell them for a couple hundred under that. It's kind of a mid-tier rifle. This rifle is plenty accurate for hunting. With ammo it likes, it'll print 1-inch groups. I got some 1-inch groups to show you. And you know, with ammo it doesn't like, it's going to spread them out a little bit. But I didn't have any trouble with the 3 loads that I put through this gun as far as accuracy. This is not, you know, sub MOA rifle, maybe with the right loads. And I suspect I have one of those loads here with me today. So I want to go over this rifle with you. I like it. It's got just beautiful, gorgeous, high-polished bluing. I mean, I'm picking up some serious Weatherby vibes from this bluing on here, and I'm going to show you a close-up here. Put it up in a window, one side or the other. On it is this older Leupold Scope. It's a classic Vari X2 with a 3-to-9 power range and a 40mm objective. This scope is probably 30 or 40 years old, and it's still perfect. I mean, it's great. Is it as crisp and bright and perfect as the new scopes? Yeah, probably not. But it's still really, really good and has many, many more years to give. It's got a really nice custom muzzle brake that looks like it was installed by a gunsmith. You know, 30-06 is one of those rounds where, you know, it's kind of nice to have the brake. It's not a huge kicking rifle, but with the brake, it's a cupcake. So, you know, and that's always kind of nice. And it'll definitely help you with your accuracy. Let's take a look at the stock here. It's a Walnut Stock. It's got some really nice checkering here, nice checkering back here, and in a good oiled walnut finish. This one's seen some action. There's some nicks and scratches on it. It's one of the reasons I'll take this one out to the field and not have to worry about getting a ding in it here or there. The old man, he put it through its paces clearly over the years. It's basically just your standard sporter hunting stock that's very similar to what many rifles from just about every gun maker in the United States and probably Europe too have used in this era of guns. It's got a nice recoil pad. I don't know if that's stock or not, but it's actually a really nice recoil pad. This 30-06, even with the big 220 grain thumper loads, it's just a puppy dog. It does not have a lot of recoil. In fact, when I did my Tikka 243 Winchester video, I was talking about how that Tikka with the 243, the anemic little 243, was kicking as hard as this very gun, which is a 30-06. And it's because this one's got a brake and this one's got a nice recoil pad. So that's kind of nice. This one is not a free-floated barrel. It's got what appears to be, and I have not taken it apart, but it appears to be a really nice factory bedding job, unless this one had some post-work done, which maybe it did. This gun is plenty accurate. All right, now to the heart of the gun, guys. The heart of the gun, the action. This is Ruger's, I would say, somewhat famous version of the Mauser action. This is what they call a controlled feed action. Most of your dangerous game hunters will tell you this is the way to go. It's going to give you a lot of security. You're very unlikely to have any kind of a misfeed when you're trying to run the action quickly. And it literally just grabs onto that round and controls it all the way in and out of battery. For most applications, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but a controlled feed action, particularly if you're hunting dangerous game, is what most of the guys that are experts in dangerous games say to get. And this does have that. It's a standard 70-degree lift, 2-lug bolt, but again, controlled feed action. It's a nice action. It's very smooth. It has a nice positive lock. I would say it's maybe not as buttery smooth as my Tikka. This is a good action. Safety is a simple 2-position safety, fire and safe. When you're in safe, you can't run the bolt. Okay, so that's I kind of like being able to run the bolt when in safe in case you need to unload the gun and you don't want it in the fire position. This one does lock the bolt and the trigger at the same time. So for the purpose of testing this trigger for you, it's got almost no creep. It's just a itty bitty, like a couple microns of creep, a little bit of tenseness, and then break. Nice and clean. And I never messed with the adjustment on this trigger. I think the old guy had it pretty close to 2 pounds because that's what it felt like. So that's a nice, clean trigger in this old 50-year-old gun. Magazine on this is a standard all-metal drop-down fixed box magazine. So I honestly, for hunting rifles, where you're often restricted to the number of cartridges you can have in your gun, having these box magazines is great. They're reliable, they work well, they're very easy to single feed when you're at the range, or if you just want to top them off. This is 3 down and 1 in the chamber. That's generally enough for hunting. I really hope you're not having to take 3 or 4 shots. I suppose if it was dangerous game, you want as many as you can have. This is a 30-06. Can you use it on dangerous game? Yeah, it's not my first choice. But for other large animals, 30-06 is fine. It's no problem taking down a moose. There's no issue with elk. And 30-06 is such a versatile cartridge. I mean, you can load this down to 110 grains if you're a hand loader and go shoot varmints with it. So 30-06 is a great cartridge, and it'll take just about any North American game. Maybe it's not ideal for the big brown bears up in Alaska. Anything else, it's more than enough. And even for the big brown bears, it's enough. I'm the type of guy, though, that says, I'd like to go in on animals that can eat me. I'd like to have overkill. Let's go ahead and take that 375 Ruger or 375 H&H or, something like that if you're going to hunt those big Alaska brown bears. But that's a little bit of a digression from this video. I shot Remington Core-Lokt 220 grain. got faster than advertised results out of this. These are those big 220 Remington loads. I also shot some Remington Core-Lokt 150s that I had lying around. But the crown jewel were these hand loads that this old guy did himself. So I got several boxes like this filled with these hand loads. Nosler Botel ballistic tip, 61 grains of RL22 powder. He doesn't have any data on velocity and energy and all that. So I went ahead and ran a half dozen of these through the rifle. And I got to tell you, this is a 180 grain bullet. And I clocked it at 2750. And it was consistent. They were really consistent. 2750 with a 180 grain, you're well above 3,000 foot-pounds of energy. These particular bullets, I looked them up from Nosler, 507 BC. Pretty good for a 180 and 30 cal. Not the slipperiest that you'll find. Hornady's 178 grain ELDX is more slippery, but that's pretty darn good. And getting 2,750 feet out of it, out of a 30-06. So I was super impressed with the consistency of this man's hand load. So God bless this guy. He left hundreds of these, and it's probably, this will be my hunting load for this rifle for the foreseeable future because they grouped really well. So out at the range, I started with the Core-Lokt 150 grain, and they delivered over 2,900 feet per second and gave me a decent group. Now here's the old man's hand loads. The grouping on this was 3/4 of an inch. That's a pretty darn good group for this old rifle. I cannot complain about that, not even a little. Just for shits and giggles, I ran a couple of those 220 grains downrange. I didn't group them at all. I just sent them downrange for a velocity test. Not bad. Outperformed the box with a 2-inch shorter barrel. So there you have it. A 50-year-old rifle still shoots like a champ. Beautiful finish. I mean, the bluing is just amazing. Good usable scope. Good looking rifle. Handles well. Easy on the shoulder. And pretty darn accurate. Guys, you don't have to be afraid of used guns. This is a real high quality gun. To buy this new setup like this today, you're talking $1,500, $1,600. It's going to be $500, $600 for the Leupold Scope. I mean, the equivalent of this is probably a VX3 HD. I mean, those in a 40 millimeter, those are going to set you back $500. The rifle's going to set you back $1,100. And you know, I got the whole rig for I think it was like $500. Now, did I take a chance on it? Sure, this thing could have had a shot out barrel for all I know. But 30-06, you know, you got to put a lot of lead downrange to wear out the barrel on a good quality rifle in 30-06. Not exactly an overbore cartridge. So, gotta say, I am super delighted with this old rifle here. And don't be afraid of old rifles. Many a deer has probably been fallen with this very rifle because that old guy had all kinds of taxidermy in his house. So that's really all I got on it today. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for me. It really helps the channel. And we'll see you right back here at Van Guns.